your first album, you weren't a band for very long before you started recording, and this one obviously you had a bunch more lead time. So if there is one, what is the average songwriting process for Activity?
There kind of isn't one, but I guess it usually does take some version of often me, but not always me, bringing in like a little bit of an idea. Maybe it's just like a little bit of a guitar part or a thing that I made on my sampler, and then sending that to people, and then just kind of gauging interest and seeing if I'm just kind of like, is this something we want to work on? Yeah, we actually have like a dry erase board in the practice space with the list of all the ideas on it. We'll kind of be like, what do we feel like tackling? I would say half the songs are kind of like things that we would play for 20 or 30 minutes sometimes, just kind of feeling it out kind of way and recording it. And then we listen back to it and it'll be like, the thing you were doing there, can you figure out how you were doing that and do that again?
I did also want to talk about, I mean, I guess just like the emotions of the song, the feelings of the songs. We're in kind of like I would say like an emo-ish revival in a sense, where there's a lot of people who are saying very explicitly, like there's not a lot of metaphor or like a lot of abstraction with the way people are describing their feelings in music right now to point at just one particular trend of one type of rock music. And I think Activity is doing something interesting, is that it is, at least to me, it seems like you are getting at a feeling by kind of going around it.
That's definitely how I like to do it. And it's also, for me, the things in other people's music or art that usually makes me feel the most affected is just somebody kind of figuring out these weird ways to not hit you over the head with something while still very much presenting it to you. It's so much more powerful to me when somebody says something that's evocative of a feeling instead of describing the exact feeling. That's like what all my favorite writers do. And then very occasionally they come in with like a line that's just exactly clear cut, like there's no ambiguity about it. And then like that has more power because you weren't doing it the whole time.
I want to ask about guitar pedals because I saw you made a special one, at least one special one that was on sale for regular people that is mimicking a sound that gets used on the album. I'm a guitar pedal appreciator, but I have no idea how they work. Could you explain for perhaps a more, in layman's terms, what you're doing with a guitar pedal like that?
That one specifically was, I used to work at the pedal company Death by Audio, and that was a pedal that I had designed there. It was limited edition, so I saw that they were selling for, I thought, too much. And I was like, oh, what if I, come out with a new one that fixes some of the problems with it? That was the idea behind that. But Jess and I, the other guitar player, had them on our pedal boards for kind of the whole existence of the band. So that was kind of in the mix already. But past that, I mean, like, it's like, here's like what I was doing last night. I mean, it's pretty nerdy looking. It's like this little thing that's got like components in it. You arrange them in certain orders, and like there's certain rules that you kind of have to go by just to get things going, and then you can play around with it from there, and you can kind of like misuse and abuse parts to get weird sounds and then like if you push it too far it won't work at all. And kind of like, it's a little bit like writing kind of experimental music where it's, like you can do this so much before it just turns into mush. Or before it loses any effectiveness at all, and it's a shtick or it's unlistenable.
I would love to hear what you would like a viewer of Activity in concert to take away from their experience. How do you want them to feel at the end of a show?
I hope it comes across as a unit that's like kind of like a gestalt kind of thing. Everything needs to be what it is in order for the whole thing to be better than the sum of its parts.